I think I figured out why old people tend to be either really positive or really negative, at least as a stereotype, that there aren't so many in between. And I think this has to do with the fact that almost anything in life can be seen in two different ways. You can see the opportunity, you can see the positive side of things, or you can see the problem, just the negative side of things. You can be more fatalistic. And as we go through life, I think one path tend to become a bit more natural to us. Maybe it's something we have internally, maybe it's something we inherited from our parents, the way they see things, or the way our inner circle or our society sees things. But I think one path, we tend to take that one. We tend to be a bit more pessimistic, a bit more optimistic. And then that is the path that we get familiar with. That is the way of seeing life that we exercise constantly. And then that just gets stronger and stronger and stronger throughout our life. And it becomes more and more difficult taking the other path. And then obviously, at least for myself, I would definitely prefer to be more optimistic, to see the bright side of life. However, for me naturally, I've been noticing lately that I have tended to go down a bit more the negative path. And in this video, I wanted to talk a bit more about this issue, how to kind of make this switch from being a bit more negative, being a bit more pessimistic, to seeing things more positively. An example for how this has impacted my life recently, it could be from an injury that I'm struggling with. The injury, it is quite permanent. However, it doesn't cause me pain all of the time. It causes me pain perhaps a couple of times a day with the wrong movements. However, despite, let's say, causing me pain just 1% of the time, I still have tended recently to spend almost my entire day being a bit more grumpy, a bit more sad because of this injury. However, that doesn't make sense. Something that bothers me physically 1% of the time, bothering me mentally 100% of the time. The other more positive way of seeing this could be that an injury that bothers me 1% of the time, I could rather use that as a reminder that I'm healthy and feel good 99% of the time. Because we all have experienced, I think, that when we are sick, we feel horrible, and then we really regret not having enjoyed or been more grateful for the times when we have been healthy, because it's so difficult when we feel healthy and good to actually be aware of that. We don't enjoy that as much as we suffer when that health is taken away from us. And with an injury that kind of is present every now and then throughout my day, it is an excellent reminder for me to enjoy more than 99% of the remaining time. Another example is a podcast interview I did with someone a week ago, which stressed me so much because I had to prepare the questions, had to make a good impression, I had to fix the camera, the sound, everything, and I was stressed for days in advance of the interview. However, in brief moments of time, my stress left me a bit, and that was when I was thinking to myself that actually it isn't such a big deal. I'm going to talk with a really kind and nice person that I know from before. It's going to be a super interesting chat. If something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. And when I was thinking these things rather than all the things focusing on what could go wrong, all of the stress it left me, and I was actually not anxious but excited about the interview. So that got me thinking how I can spend more of my life in that state. And these are choices that I make to some extent because I can choose to decide to focus more on the positive sides. And when I say I can choose it, it's not always something that we're conscious about. It's not always something that we are able to, a mindset that we are able to shift. It's very easy to fall back into the thought that we don't want to have. However, with exercise and with practice, we can shift it, maybe not entirely, but at least we can spend more and more time in the mindset that is more positive. And this is again back to when we grow older and older in life, we get more and more set. So I think it's that can be a negative thing, but it can also be a positive thing, because the more we practice, the more time we spend in a more positive mindset, the easier that becomes. And that is, of course, not to say that we need to be positive all the time. Sadness, frustration, anger, they are natural feelings, they're natural part of life, but they're not supposed to be permanent states. They are supposed to be feelings that we visit every now and then in order to be able to reflect upon our own life, to be able to feel and to be able to figure out, help us reflect and to figure out how do we want life to be. So they are more feelings to adjust the course of our life, the course of our mindset, the course of our thoughts, our actions, so that we can return to the state where we want to spend most of our time, which is a state of peace, happiness. Oh, it's getting very light here. And the last thing I wanted to touch upon in this video is that energy, it is contagious. That means both that if you are around people who have a more kind of, they're further down the negative path, it will be easier for you to kind of follow down that path, and vice versa. And that, of course, highlights the importance of being a bit cautious with who you spend your time around, who you admire. Do you admire angry political leaders who tells you that life is not good enough, that things are horrible? Do you admire people on the internet who nurture a view of our own bodies which is not positive, which makes us feel not enough? How susceptible are you to all the advertisement that tells us that we need something else in order to be happy? All of these things are things that pull, and they have a really strong pull down the negative path. Or are you with people who nurture body positivity, who nurture simplicity, happiness, those kind of things, kindness, generosity, all these things that are the fruit of the positive path, and also the kind of the things that push us down that path. And this contagiousness of energy, of mindset, also goes the other way around. And that means that every one of us, just like during COVID, we have a responsibility in terms of how we transmit our energy. And that means that if we are negative the entire time, if we just focus on the problems, if we criticize, it means that our partner, our family, they will get more of that energy. They will tend to do more of this as well, and then that again will return, like will get back to you. So that's the path down a vicious cycle, a vicious cycle where you kind of nurture this negative mindset. Whereas if you try to be a bit more positive, you try to see the opportunities, not the problems, that is also something that is going to transmit onto the people around you, which again means that they will have a more positive influence back on you. So this is a really fascinating concept, which means that we have actually so much control over our surroundings and also how we feel inside. So I hope this was useful, and this is, if I made it sound easy in this video, it absolutely isn't. It takes a lot of gazing inwards, internally listening to your own body, your own feelings. It takes talking to people, reading books. Therapy is a fantastic tool. So it really takes work, and it is an ongoing process, just like walking in the forest, walking somewhere new as life is. Sometimes you will lose your trail if we are still on the path metaphor. Sometimes you will kind of go back. Things will happen in life that will make it very difficult to see the positive part of things. So it's not a destination you arrive at, but it is an ongoing journey. So let's start that journey together. I hope it was useful. Please subscribe and be on the lookout for more videos about how we can live more happy and meaningful lives for ourselves and the planet around us. Bye bye.